spoilers is darker and more intense than anyone expected. The young and the restless spoilers reveal that while Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, is busy playing Patty Williams, Stacey Hayduke, and convincing her they have a real chance together, Diane Jenkins Abbott, Susan Walters, will be forced to put on a show of her own. At Dr. Lawrence Markham's, Jerry Burns' house, Diane was thrown into a terrible situation that she needs to find a way out of. That's why Diane started flattering Dr. Markham and praising his treatment in the June 17th episode. Diane must be thinking it'll be easier to escape from Dr. Markham's private residence than some unfamiliar clinic. After all, Diane has no way of knowing if this clinic even exists or if she might become a captive or corpse in a hole somewhere. It's better for Diane to stick around Dr. Markham's home and make him believe he's a miracle worker. Diane can stroke Dr. Markham's ego and potentially even take things a step further than that. We won't be surprised if Diane eventually seduces Dr. Markham and pretends she's falling for him. Diane may hope that the closer she gets to Dr. Markham, the more willing he'll be to trust her. That could open the door to an escape route or at least lead to more news about what's really going on. Of course, there's speculation that Dr. Lawrence Markham might actually be Martin Laurent, Christopher Cousins, in disguise. That could easily be true if Martin got a plastic surgery makeover or is wearing a realistic mask. If Dr. Markham is indeed Martin, then Diane's plan to hype up his brilliance could work out well for her. There's nothing Martin loved more than feeling smarter than his brother, Dr. Alan Laurent, Christopher Cousins, whose books are on the shelf at Dr. Markham's place. Martin might be lonely and looking for love following his split from Tracy Abbott, Beth Maitland, so Diane's seduction plot could work for her, too. Even if Dr. Markham isn't Martin after all, YNR spoilers suggest Diane could still seduce the doc as part of her manipulative plan. Dr. Markham isn't a psychiatrist who plays by the rules, so it won't matter that Diane is technically his patient. It's not like Diane had a real breakdown anyway. The young and the restless spoilers say Diane will do whatever it takes to find freedom. In my view, the consequences from today's events won't fade anytime soon. Diane seduces Dr. Markham, falls in love with Sinister Psychiatrist? For years, Diane Jenkins has proven that survival in Genoa City requires more than charm and determination. She has reinvented herself countless times, escaped scandal after scandal, and somehow managed to secure a place within the powerful Abbott family. Yet just when it seemed Diane's life had finally settled into something resembling peace, a dangerous new chapter could be on the horizon, one involving a mysterious psychiatrist whose intentions may be far darker than anyone realizes. What begins as a calculated alliance could quickly become the most shocking love story Genoa City has ever witnessed. And if rumors are to be believed, Diane may find herself falling headfirst into a relationship that threatens everything she has worked so hard to rebuild. Diane's perfect life begins to crack. At first glance, Diane appears to have everything she ever wanted. She shares a home with Jack Abbott. Her son Kyle has accepted her presence in his life. The Abbott family remains cautious, but many of the old wounds have begun to heal. Unfortunately, happiness never lasts long in Genoa City. Diane has spent years carrying the burden of her past mistakes. Every betrayal, every deception, and every desperate decision still haunts her. While she projects confidence to the outside world, insiders notice growing signs that Diane may be struggling behind closed doors. Jack becomes increasingly focused on corporate battles. Kyle remains distracted by his own personal dramas. Even the Abbott mansion begins to feel lonely. For the first time in years, Diane finds herself facing emotions she cannot simply manipulate away. That's when Dr. Markham arrives. The mysterious new psychiatrist. Nobody knows much about Dr. Markham when he first appears in Genoa City. His credentials are impressive. His reputation is flawless. His patients praise his brilliance. Yet there is something unsettling about him. Unlike most therapists, Dr. Markham possesses an uncanny ability to understand exactly what people want to hear. Within minutes of meeting someone, he seems capable of uncovering their deepest insecurities. Some view this as a gift. Others see it as something far more dangerous. When Diane first meets him at a charity event, sparks immediately fly. The attraction is undeniable. Dr. Markham is intelligent, sophisticated, and surprisingly charming. Unlike many men in Genoa City, he appears completely unimpressed by Diane's history. Instead, he seems fascinated by her. That fascination soon turns into an obsession. A dangerous game begins. Initially, Diane has no romantic interest in Dr. Markham. She remains committed to Jack. However, she recognizes something valuable. Dr. Markham has connections. Powerful connections. Business executives. Politicians. Judges. Influential socialites. The psychiatrist moves effortlessly through elite circles, collecting secrets wherever he goes. Diane realizes that befriending him could prove beneficial. After all, information is power. And Diane has always understood the value of power. She begins spending more time with him. Lunch meetings become dinner conversations. Professional discussions become personal confessions. Before long, they are speaking almost daily. Jack notices the change. So does Kyle. Neither one likes it. Jack's growing suspicion. Jack Abbott trusts Diane more than he once did. But trust does not erase instinct. Something about Dr. Markham troubles him. Whenever Jack encounters the psychiatrist, he feels as though he's being studied, analyzed, evaluated. Dr. Markham asks unusual questions. Questions that seem harmless on the surface but reveal startling amounts of personal information. Jack eventually confides his concerns to Ashley. She agrees. The doctor gives off unsettling vibes. But Diane dismisses their worries. She insists that Dr. Markham is simply misunderstood. A brilliant professional unfairly judged because of his intelligence. Unfortunately, Diane may be blind to the truth. The seduction nobody sees coming. As weeks pass, Dr. Markham begins subtly inserting himself into Diane's life. He always knows when she's upset. He somehow appears whenever she needs support. He remembers every detail she shares. For a woman who has spent years feeling judged and criticized, the attention is intoxicating. Eventually, Diane starts confiding things she hasn't told anyone. Her fears. Her regrets. Her insecurities. Even her doubts about her future with Jack. Dr. Markham listens patiently. Never judging. Never criticizing. Always understanding. The emotional connection grows stronger. Then comes the moment that changes everything. Following a heated argument with Jack, Diane seeks comfort from the one person who seems to truly understand her. Dr. Markham. One vulnerable evening turns into an intimate encounter. Not because Diane planned it. Not because she wanted to betray Jack. But because Dr. Markham knew exactly how to make her feel seen. For the first time, Diane crosses a line she can never uncross. The sinister truth emerges. What Diane doesn't know is that Dr. Markham has been manipulating her from the beginning. He carefully researched her history, studied her relationships, analyzed her psychological weaknesses. Everything has been orchestrated. Every conversation. Every coincidence. Every emotional breakthrough. Nothing happened by chance. Dr. Markham selected Diane as a target. The question is why? The answer may shock Genoa City. Sources suggest that Dr. Markham harbors a deep grudge against several powerful families. The Abbotts. The Newmans. The Chancellors. Years ago, his own family allegedly suffered devastating losses connected to one of Genoa City's elite dynasties. Now he wants revenge. And Diane is his way in. Falling in love with the villain. The tragedy is that Diane's feelings become real. What began as manipulation evolves into genuine emotion. She starts imagining a future with Dr. Markham. A future free from judgment. free from endless battles over her past. For perhaps the first time in her life, Diane believes someone understands her completely. Unfortunately, that understanding is built upon lies. Meanwhile, Dr. Markham finds himself experiencing something unexpected. He develops feelings for Diane as well. Real feelings. Dangerous feelings. The line between manipulation and love begins to blur. Suddenly, the master manipulator becomes emotionally vulnerable. And that's when everything starts falling apart. Kyle discovers a clue. Kyle Abbott has never fully trusted strangers entering his family's orbit. After noticing several inconsistencies in Dr. Markham's background, he starts investigating. The deeper he digs, the more alarming the discoveries become. Certain records appear altered. Past employers offer contradictory stories. Former patients describe troubling experiences. One former associate even accuses Dr. Markham of emotional manipulation. Kyle brings the evidence to Jack. Together, father and son begin assembling a frightening picture. The man Diane trusts may not be who he claims to be. The challenge becomes convincing Diane before it's too late. Diane refuses to listen. Unfortunately, Diane interprets their concerns as jealousy. She believes Jack feels threatened. She thinks Kyle is overreacting. The harder they push, the more defensive she becomes. This only drives her closer to Dr. Markham. Exactly as he intended. The psychiatrist encourages her independence. He insists she deserves better. He suggests that the Abbott family will never fully forgive her. His words strike a painful nerve. After all, part of Diane fears that he may be right. The emotional wedge between Diane and the Abbotts grows larger every day. Dr. Markham's endgame. As tensions escalate, Dr. Markham prepares the final stage of his plan. His goal is not merely revenge. He wants total psychological control. He intends to expose secrets, destroy reputations, shatter alliances, and use Diane as the catalyst. However, his growing love for her complicates everything. For the first time, he hesitates. He questions whether revenge is worth sacrificing the woman he has come to care about. That hesitation may prove fatal. Because enemies are closing in from every direction. Victor Newman gets involved. No secret remains hidden from Victor Newman forever. Once whispers of Dr. Markham reach Newman's ears, Victor launches his own investigation. The results are explosive. Victor uncovers information that even Kyle and Jack failed to find. Evidence of fraud. Identity changes. Financial crimes. Potential blackmail schemes. Suddenly, Dr. Markham is no longer just a suspicious therapist. He's a dangerous criminal. Victor warns Jack immediately. But there may not be enough time. A race against disaster. As the truth closes in, Dr. Markham faces an impossible choice. Continue his revenge mission. Or save Diane from the destruction he's about to unleash. Meanwhile, Diane begins noticing cracks in the facade. Small inconsistencies. Unexpected lies. Moments when Dr. Markham's charming mask slips. For the first time, she wonders whether Jack was right all along. Yet by then, she may already be too deeply entangled. Because Dr. Markham's enemies are preparing to strike. And Diane stands directly in the line of fire. The ultimate soap opera twist. Imagine the shock if Diane discovers that Dr. Markham genuinely loves her. Imagine the heartbreak if she realizes she loves him too. Not the charming doctor she thought she knew, but the flawed, damaged, dangerous man beneath the mask. Such a revelation would create one of the most complicated romances in the Young and the Restless history. Could Diane redeem a villain? Could love change Dr. Markham? Or would his darkness ultimately consume them both? What happens next? If this storyline unfolded, viewers would likely witness betrayals, shocking revelations, emotional confrontations, and impossible choices. Jack would fight to save Diane. Kyle would struggle to protect his family. Victor would seek to eliminate a threat. And Diane would face the most difficult decision of her life. Stay loyal to the family she fought so hard to rejoin. Or risk everything for a man whose love may be genuine, but whose secrets could destroy them all. One thing is certain, in Genoa City, the most dangerous relationships are often the most irresistible. And if Diane Jenkins truly falls for the sinister Dr. Markham, the fallout could leave the entire city reeling for months to come.